What's up, guys? Welcome back to McKnight Fitness. So, I wanted to make this video because I watched Dylan McKnight's video on how to gain weight for skinny guys, and I understand he made it about 2 years ago, but it's still cropping up like 2,500 views a day. So I wanted to make a response. First things first, in this video he got a lot of things right. He added the weight and height calculator in his description. I think I'm going to throw that in my description as well. He talked about getting into a caloric surplus. He also mentioned the importance of carbs. He did a lot of things right. There's one thing he mentioned in the beginning of the video that he didn't touch a ton on, and that is referring to your metabolism as either fast or slow. I think this is a concept that you need to really start to understand if you're going to be successful gaining mass. The metabolism is something that can be trained just like your muscles, and so you can train it from being fast into being slow or vice versa. This is important to understand, especially as a skinny guy, because your metabolism is crazy fast. My object in creating this video is to use myself as an example, that there are ways to achieve results that can be healthier and provide more longevity as far as gaining muscle into the future goes. Dylan, in his video, briefly mentions running an extremely lean bulk being the only way to avoid getting fat, basically, while bulking. And he's about to delve into some information on fats, and then he kind of doesn't. So I just want to say a few things about fat. I think it's one of the more neglected parts of the diet as far as it compares to carbohydrates and protein. But what you need to understand is that when you do a dirty bulk and you're eating a lot of processed foods like frozen pizzas and hamburgers and chocolate milk, that a huge portion of the fats that you are intaking are what's called saturated fats, and these can be incredibly unhealthy for your brain function as well as other parts of your body's functions. So just understanding the difference between healthy fats and unhealthy fats is gonna do a lot for you. A couple of examples of healthy fats would be avocados, tree nuts, coconut oil, avocado oil, right? Making sure you're cooking with the proper oils. It's just important to understand that. Dylan mentions at one point in his video that if you look up what foods to eat to gain weight, that they mention a lot of things that are really lean, and it would take a ton of work to eat all this food. And he's right, but I think that you should understand that that's not forever. This process of being unable to eat enough to grow will change. Your metabolism will change over time. Especially if you're a young guy, if you're in your mid-teens, early teens. I mean, you have no idea what your metabolism is going to look like when you're in your mid-20s and mid-30s and mid-40s. I mean, life is so long. So, you have to understand that this process of struggling to gain weight is not forever. Your metabolism will change. You have to think about fitness as a marathon, not a sprint, right? You've probably heard that before. If you think about yourself years into the future, your metabolism is going to be an entirely different animal than it is now. So don't be afraid of those foods just because you have to eat so many of them. There's nothing wrong with that, because someday that's going to change. Remember, you're training your metabolism as you're kind of force feeding this high sodium fatty food. It's teaching your metabolism that this is normal, and your metabolism starts to learn over time and get used to that, and sometimes it becomes impossible.
No.
So in Dylan's Greg Doucette response video where Greg did Natty or Not on him, Greg mentions that Dylan is getting a little puffy, I think he says. And Dylan agrees. Basically, he says that there's a lot of water retention going on. He says that I was getting a little husky. There's even a moment where he says,
"Oh, this moron looking back."
I'm not trying to dig on Dylan at all. His physique looks great, so he's figuring himself out. He looks genuinely healthy. But what you have to understand is that he changed his metabolism forever, right? Practicing what he preached in his How to Gain Weight for Skinny Guys video, his metabolism is never going to be the same. So there was a time in his life where he could be crazy diced up with very little effort. And because of the force feeding, he now has pushed his metabolism to a point where it can't come back. It can't return to what it was. If you just scroll through his page, you'll notice that he kind of got to a point where he was actually fighting from the opposite end of the spectrum, trying to lose weight. Now, personally, I am an example of kind of a hybrid approach between what Dylan is saying with the bulk and eating crazy lean all the time. What I did is I started out my weight gain journey thinking that I needed to eat lean protein. And I was partially wrong because I didn't understand some concepts about eating enough carbohydrates. But what I did know was how to cook lean protein. I was cooking chicken and whole wheat pasta and ground beef and things like that from early on, And what this did for me was it provided me a baseline where I was hitting my maintenance calories with this really quality lean protein, home-cooked lean protein, quality fats and quality carbohydrates, and then from the point of maintenance and on into caloric surplus is where I started to cheat and really start to eat dirty and kind of, you know, have chocolate muffins and DiGiorno pizzas, right? Definitely as far as reaching a surplus, there's a little bit of cheating going on, but you have this baseline of knowledge about how to cook properly that is gonna keep you on the straight and narrow. And here's what you have to understand about fitness is if you want to last, right? You don't want to burn out and you want to keep working out into your 30s and 40s and 50s, you have to practice quality. You have to practice creating a quality environment for your body and treating your body like a temple. You have to understand that you can't cheat. There's no way to cheat your way. So how to gain weight fast, right? You see that title on a video, how to gain weight fast for skinny guys. There's no trick that's not going to have some negative connotations. It's about practicing excellence early on, right? If you're new at this, you need to start to practice excellence early on and it'll pay off in the long run. One of my favorite all-time bodybuilders, Artemis Doligan, says you have to convince yourself that you're great way before you become great. The words health and fitness, right, often go in conjunction with one another. We're used to hearing those things together. But as far as bodybuilding goes, unfortunately over time, even since the golden era, we have fostered this culture of doing whatever it possibly takes to get the body you want, right? Doing whatever it takes, whether it's healthy or not. And that just doesn't make sense. There's no longevity in that. There really isn't. So PEDs and eating disorders alike don't belong in health and fitness. I'm here to tell you that there's a way to be incredibly healthy and have a really healthy approach and still have a really killer physique without cutting any corners, without any PEDs, without any eating disorders involved. So to recap, start your weight gain journey with the end in mind. No great thing comes without dedication and perseverance and struggle and time invested. You have to understand that by dirty bulking, you are changing your amazing, young, fast, healthy metabolism forever. Learn how to prep chicken, rice, and broccoli even if you hate it. Learn how to read nutritional labels. Invest in understanding your body and its response to certain foods. As the years go on and your physique develops, you will never regret being more calculated with your approach. Thank you all for watching the video. I release every Friday. I'm excited about this YouTube channel and where it's going. I'm really excited about all my new subscribers. Thank you all so much for coming along for the ride. If you have questions at all or comments, feel free to jump down in the comment section. And to shout out Dylan McKnight, I think your channel is awesome, dude, and I don't have anything against you at all. I just think there need to be multiple opinions on the internet. That's the great thing about YouTube, right? Tons of different opinions. So lots of different approaches, and I hope that this gives you some food for thought. And again, thank you for watching, and I will see you again next week.